We're live, folks, broadcasting on several platforms tonight. I'm on Periscope, I'm on Spreaker, Twitter, I guess, YouTube. We're live, by God, hey. I'm hotter than a two-packered billy goat tonight, folks. I don't think the people on Spreaker can see me. Anyhow, by God, my name is Alex Morgan. This is my podcast. I wanted tonight to be a little bit special, so everybody could see me while I do the show and just get to know me a little better, and hopefully we can do great things together. I really want to succeed. I'm a fighter. Believe that. You want to hurt me, you better kill me. Because I'm a fighter. And you don't want to make me mad. I don't want anybody making me mad. It's been a long day today, though. And then with all the craziness going on in the world of politics, man, it gets crazier by the daggone day. Hey, it's unreal, y'all. It's unreal. Sorry about that. I knocked that camera over. But, yeah, them damn dope Democrats is dumber than hell. Well, I guess it would work if I turned the camera around on Periscope, wouldn't it? I got somebody watching out there. Darker than a damn dungeon, and I know it. How you doing? But I wanted to get into this whole DNC leak thing. It's back in the news finally. He was killed. I mean, say what you want to. He was killed. Yeah. I don't know exactly who killed him. I know he was a high-ranking member of the Democratic National Committee. And it's now come out in the news that they have evidence that he was the source of Assange, and that's how they got the Democrats' emails. Which I knew that. He pretty much admitted it a couple of weeks, maybe a month after Seth Rich's murder, when he said something other to the tune of, well, I tell you what, I ain't gonna quote the man. I'll look it up for you. Give me just a moment here. I should have had that pulled up for you, but I was wanting to do some major broadcasting tonight, and may have gotten a little bit ahead of myself. I think I did. But anyways, let's see here. Type in Assange's interview, Seth Rich. Let's see if this one's here. I'm not sure.
Donald Trump has had a disastrous few weeks. If you look at the polls,
yeah, that's it.
1 miracle. In the American political lexicon, there's such a thing as the October surprise. The stuff that you're sitting on, is an October surprise in there? Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material, and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old who works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
Why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are. Our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
But it's quite something.
Stop right there. I want to add a little comment. Their sources do take major risk. But it turns out Seth Rich, he paid the ultimate price with his life. Obviously he was involved in the Democratic Party, and he believed in it, and he saw what was going on, folks. He saw how crooked that these Democrats really are. I mean, it's scary when you think about it. They're not Democrats, folks. They're something of a whole different. They're something else. All I know. They're damn socialist, communist, you name it, totalitarian, fucking bureaucratic bullshit. Excuse my French, but I am a little ticked off. They've been talking about trying to impeach Trump. Yeah, trying to impeach Trump first. We'll get back to it. Let's listen to this Assange interview. I'm a little hot today.
To suggest a murder, that's basically what you're doing.
Well, others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
So you had it, folks. He pretty much said that was his source.
Give me contact.
And I mean, the writing is on the wall. I mean, yeah. I mean, they wanted you to think that it was a robbery. He had all of his money on him, his jewelry, whatever. They didn't find nothing missing. He was shot in the back multiple times, I think 4 times. He was executed, folks. He was executed. There's no question. But the thing about it is, they want to use stuff like accusing Donald Trump of being a Russian agent and divert away from stuff like that. It's now come out today that a detective from Washington, D.C. was told to look over the crime, was it? Or what was it? You have to forgive me, folks. Today has been a long day. But disregard the crime, whatever, yeah. I quoted it in the info of this show. I forget. Okay, I'm sorry, but I want to get to this article right here. It's up on Infowars.com. Did Washington Post publish dubious Russian story to distract from Seth Rich bombshell? The Washington Post published its dubious story on President Trump leaking classified information to the Russians less than an hour after the bombshell news broke that murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich was in contact with WikiLeaks and that DC police were ordered to cover up. That's it, cover up. I didn't put the two together because cover up and overlook and whatever I said there in that description, those are way two different things, especially this day and time. A cover up, folks, is something of a whole different ball game. But I don't know. That's a pretty good term for the situation, I guess, when you look at it, because that's what they do, folks. They cover their crimes. Look at the Clinton Foundation. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at John Podesta. Look at all these Democrats, man. They make me sick. I hope y'all hear me. I don't care. Y'all, I ain't Seth Rich, by God. You come up here in these mountains, you liable to be lucky if you leave the holler. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, but he was involved at a really high level, and it's obvious that the people involved knew what was at stake, and he knew what was at stake, and he just paid the ultimate price. That's all you can say about it, folks. But anyway, back to this article right here. The coincidental timing has led many Trump supporters to accuse the Post of publishing their story in an attempt to distract the rest of the media from focusing on the massive new revelations in the Seth Rich case. Right here, they go to extreme to show you how long the article broke after Seth Rich was killed. It says the Washington Post story was published around 57 minutes after the Seth Rich story broke. And here they show the time of when the tweet went out from the Seth Rich murder to when this article went out about Trump revealed highly classified information to Russian and foreign ambassador. I think this is what they're trying to impeach him over, folks. It ain't nothing but bull is all it is. They ain't got nothing on Trump. They ain't never had nothing on Trump. All they've done is sit and make stuff up on him like a bunch of little school children. Worse than a bunch of little school children, I'll tell you. They need to retire, folks. They need to retire. They're old. Them politicians got plenty of money. They need to let some of these younger people have a shot at leading our country, because from the looks of it, they're not doing a very good job anyway, especially on one particular side, not to mention any names. But jokes, that's what they are, jokes. Okay, back to the article. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. Rich was murdered in an upscale area of D.C. on June 10th last year, but the killer or killers did not steal anything from the victim, rendering the police explanation that the incident was a robbery gone wrong doubtful. InfoWars reported on the questions surrounding Seth Rich's murder multiple times back in August last year, including how there was around an hour and a half of unaccounted for time between Rich leaving a bar and being killed. Brad Bauman, a crisis communications director for the Democratic Party, was hired by Rich's family to act as their spokesman. Bauman's first action was to insist that people stop questioning the unsolved circumstances behind Rich's murder. Speculation later raged as to whether Rich was trying to get in contact with the FBI to speak to agents about, quote, an ongoing court case, end quote, involving the Clintons. During a subsequent television interview in August, WikiLeaks' Julian Assange appeared to confront that Rich was the source for the DNC leak, dismantling the claim that Russia was responsible for the leak. There you go, folks. Hillary Clinton and the Russians have been lying about Russia's involvement in the election ever since she found out she might lose. Okay? Truth's the truth. If anybody hacked the election, it was them. It was the CIA. It was the NSA. It was the damn DNC themselves. Don't put it past the deep state neither. Hey, we're living in a time right now. If the United States was a bucket of water, they want to turn that SOB upside down and pour it out. You hear me? Hey, I know what I'm talking about. They want to take all of us people that live in these rural areas and box us on top of one another in apartment buildings, not no big, in little apartments that you couldn't even whoop a cat in. That's a smile. While they live good, you know, out here in these rural areas, away from us simple folk, you know. But back to this story. I'm serious, folks. You gotta wake up. Hey, this is the most critical time in your life. You need to seek God. You need to look for the truth. You need to find out what's going on. Hey, I'm serious. We gotta get together. Somebody call me. My number is 276-243-1548. We'll talk. Okay, back to this interview. Rob Wheeler, a private investigator hired by the Rich family, has now confirmed that Rich's laptop contains evidence proving that he was in contact with WikiLeaks before his death, and that DC police were ordered to cover it up. Quote, I have a source inside the police department that has looked at me straight in the eye and said, Rod, we were told to stand down. That's what the term was, stand down. It wasn't cover up, it was stand down. Anyway, Rod, we were told to stand down on the case, and I can't share any information with you. Now, that is ugly. That is highly unusual for a murder investigation, especially for a police department. End quote, said Wheeler. Quote, the police department nor the FBI have been forthcoming, end quote, said Wheeler. Quote, they haven't been cooperating at all. I believe that the answer to solving his death lies on that computer, which I believe is either at the police department or either at the FBI. I have been told both, end quote, he added. The true narrative behind Seth Rich's murder is potentially devastating for the Democrats because it would virtually disprove their entire narratives that Russia, quote, hacked end quote, the presidential election by colluding with WikiLeaks and the Trump administration. He would also raise question as to whether Seth Rich was murdered in retribution for the DNC leak and to prevent him from leaking any further information. Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta, whose email hack was also blamed on the Russians with no evidence, once wrote an email on the subject of leaks negatively affecting Hillary Clinton, stating, quote, "I'm definitely for making an example of a suspected leaker, whether or not we have any real basis for it," end quote. There are no evidence that Podesta or anyone on the Clinton campaign was involved in Seth Rich's murder. But the email is doing the rounds once again, the aftermath of the huge new revelations about the case. They've got a tweet in here from WikiLeaks saying, Podesta, "I'm definitely making examples of a suspected leaker, whether or not we have a real basis for it," end quote. So that's from a email. That's one of the emails right there from the Podesta leak. But yeah, man, that's all they are. They attack. They never answer a question. They never defend themselves at all. They attack. That's all these people know. They're like mercenaries when it really comes down to it. Or I don't know, like a hard killer or a soldier when you think about it. Yeah. The Democrats are something else, folks. They will stop at no lengths to stay in power. They will disable our civilization, our culture, our language, our ways of life, just so they can bring people here from foreign countries, make them citizens, and naturally those people are going to vote for the people that got them here and got them legalized. And you know, if you don't see that, there's something bad wrong. When I was growing up going to school, we called them illegal aliens. Since then, if you say such a thing as illegal alien, you're politically incorrect, and you're called a homophobe and a racist and a whatever, xenophobe. Man, this is interesting times we're living in, to say the least. It would really pay you to get in contact with God. Pray all you can. Ask God to show you the answers. Ask God to help you through these trying times. I had an article here that I was wanting to share with you all. If it didn't, I guess this is it. This article is by Grabian News, I guess. This is a new news network that I've never heard of. I actually got this article from Drudge. Drudge, he's the newsman, and He's the most accurate source of news out there. He goes to extreme lengths to let people who visit his site know what's going on. But this article says, montage. The media can't stop asking Democratic guests if they're ready to impeach Trump. Quote, are we getting closer to the possibility of yet another impeachment? End quote. I don't know who said that, but okay. Objection. Leading the witness. Your Honor, since the Washington Post report Monday that Trump shared classified information with Russian ambassador during an Oval Office meeting last week, the major media seemed to smell blood in the water. Over the last 24 hours, almost every interview with Democratic politicians has included a question about whether we're getting closer to impeaching the president. CNN's Wolf Blitzer is leading the charge. That's a fucking joke. Bringing up impeachment 3 separate times Tuesday evening alone. During an interview with Senator Angus King, independent from Maine, about a New York Times report alleging Trump asked former FBI Director James Comey to drop the agency's investigation into General Michael Flynn, Blitzer asked hopefully, quote, are we getting closer to the possibility of yet another impeachment, end quote. Blitzer also flatly told Senator King that if the Times report is accurate, it's, quote, an impeachable offense, end quote. Not even phrasing the statement as a question. Oh, man. Moments later, Blitzer asked Republican Elijah Cummings, Democrat from Maryland, if the New York Times report would provide enough ammunition for impeachment proceeding against Trump. Quote, is that impeachable if it is an obstruction of justice? End quote, Blitzer asked. He was referring to Trump firing Comey when he's talking about that because of the supposed Russian investigation. Folks, there is no investigation that I'm aware of. They have checked into it, but yeah, they found no ties and everything's hunky dory. Trump has your best interest at heart. He is like me and you. He is an ordinary American who happens to have a massive amount of money. And folks, that don't hurt me a bit what people has. I wished all of you had $1 million. I do. You know, in my opinion, I know that they say that if there was more money, that, you know, our currency wouldn't be worth as much. But you look at all these people that's got massive amounts of money, and when I get here in a few days, I'm going to show y'all some of my videos on YouTube of this place that I live in. Like, it's just crazy the stuff that goes on around here, and nobody does anything to help these people. They don't want to help nobody. No way. They do what they have to keep their little tax exemption, and they skedaddle. But I don't know. It's crazy, folks, what what people's got on their minds. I would hate to know what people like that has on their minds. I really would. Money changes people, folks. It really does. But first thing you gotta realize is that money is evil. Money is the root of all evil. But that's another BS article where that's pretty much propaganda. See if we can find anything else. I saw a lot of articles while ago on Seth Rich. The Blaze was reporting on it. A lot more sources than InfoWars. You can believe that. Here's one from the Washington Examiner, NBC News, WND.com, Fox News, Fox 5, DC. There's an Alex Jones, CNN, Zero Hedge, and that's just the first page of the search engine. Here's the top stories from the Washington Examiner. Family of murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich denies reports he sent WikiLeaks emails. The family of a Democratic National Committee staffer who was shot and killed in Washington last summer denies a report that his son leaked more than 44,000 emails to WikiLeaks before his death. Quote, as we've seen through the past year of unsubstantiated claims, we see no fact, we have seen no evidence, we have been approached with no emails and only learned about this when contacted by the press, end quote. The family said in a statement released Tuesday afternoon, quote, even if an email was found, it is not a high enough bar of evidence to prove any interactions, as emails can be altered, and we've seen that those interested in pushing conspiracies will stop at nothing to do so, end quote. Oh my God. Do y'all know that the word, or words, conspiracy theory, theorist, whatever, was, that was made up by the CIA to, like, point their finger and use that to call people who came up with theories as to how these tragedies occurred through history. You look at all the Kennedys that got killed and shot and all that, and you look at Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Ronald Reagan. Folks, we're fighting some people that want our head on a stick. They will stop at nothing to do so. Just look up the Clintons' death toll. George W. Bush is responsible for millions of Iraqis, probably. I don't know, it's in the thousands for sure. And it's no telling about, Iraq and all that. But look up the Clinton death trail. They've killed plenty of people. I'm going to give a quick shout out. I was listening to a pretty good podcast the other day on Spreaker. The Truth Zone. Yeah, that was the name of it. That's a pretty good podcast. Y'all can check that out if you want to. I liked it. I really did. I'd have to say that I agreed with about 95 or 96% of everything that guy had to say. It was. I just listened to one show, but I liked his side. I got an email today, and he does his show, I think, at it would be 11 a.m. here. But I think he lives in Texas, so it'd be like 10 a.m. there. So yeah, that would be 11 Eastern, 10 Pacific. I'm gonna start watching it more often. He's a pretty opinionated guy. He's got a really good outlook on the New World Order and the Illuminati and all that. Yeah, check it out if you want to. But that's another pretty interesting article. Talks about how the DNC favored Hillary over Berry during the presidential primary, and how WikiLeaks showed evidence of that. Folks, the election was given to Hillary Clinton up until the election night, and I'd say they even tried to steal it. If anybody hacked our election, that was who did it. Just look at how Obama acted when he was questioned about election fraud. He didn't even know what that was, and him a damned old Democrat that blazing voting dead people and all this, man. Hey, now let me tell y'all something. The Democratic Party today ain't what it used to be, folks. Back when I was growing up, and well, even before then, it was infiltrated. It was infiltrated by some socialists who have bent our legislation and our laws and our foreign policies, everything. They've bent them towards their socialistic beliefs. Truth's the truth. Whether you're pro-life or not, whatever you support, you know what's right from wrong. Folks, I'm very pro-life, and when it comes to gay rights, well, I don't care if they get married. That don't bother me. They never want to get in a big pile and fornicate. That won't hurt me a bit, I don't care. Whatever, that don't bother me. That's just me though, But I tell you what, the Democrats, they've always got people like the minorities and the gay communities. They always act like they got their best interests at heart, and they just love them. Folks, these people don't love nobody. These people are the most compulsive liars on the planet. Let me tell you something. People like you and me, you all out there listening to my show, y'all don't want to be in power. So you're not in power. Okay? These people that are in power, they wanted to be in power, so they are in power. Think about that. If they didn't want to be in power, they wouldn't be in power, okay? It ain't like somebody made them run against their will or, you know, twisted their arm or anything like that. Think about it, folks. I mean, it's common sense. God, it feels so good when you figure this stuff out, man. Me and my buddy right there, I don't know, we had already grown up and stuff, and, you know, spent a long time apart. Like, he had some bad stuff happen to him, and he had to go away for a little while, and he'd come back, like, you know, every once in a while to visit me, so we'd celebrate, and we was just sitting around one day, and I was like, man, hey, have you ever realized, like, how everything ain't right? Like, you look at the world and, like, it just don't make sense. Like, it's ass backwards. Like people's out to get you or some stuff like that, you know? And, you know, you start thinking about 9/11, and not only 9/11, but Building 7, and, Bin Laden, who, turns out, died in 2002, and was frozen and preserved until SEAL Team 6 could make their famous mission and lose his body in the ocean, and their helicopter just blow up and all of them die and they wasn't no survivors and all this stuff. Hey, this is well documented stuff, folks. You can go look it up. Trying to say that Trump gave them people classified information. Do you want to know what this supposed classified information was? Excuse me, I get a little tore up sometimes. It was information of how Al-Qaeda and ISIS were using their laptops to plant bombs inside the laptops so they could carry the laptops onto planes and blow them up. Folks, this has been reported on and well documented in the past 2 months prior to this little look right there. Look what he's doing. And everybody looks that way, and they don't see what's, you know, going on out there at the back door, you know. But whatever. Let them bastards keep writing our laws and stuff like that, you know. Hey, whatever, you know. Y'all just keep drinking their water. Keep taking the immunity shots, and yeah, just keep that on. We got just a few seconds, folks. Hey, I'll be back. I'm gonna make another segment on this. I am pumped up. I'm on a collar. Be back later, folks.